Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am checking my volume. Good thing I checked it because it was way down. All right, we got it right now. That's for you, Mr. B. I know you get irritated about me checking the volume at the beginning of my shows. All right, so right here. So check this out. This guy says, why do I sense a narrative shift about to happen with this administration? Feels like once the ETF is approved, we're going to get fed a BS line about actually this admin is pro-crypto. They just want to clean up the bad actors. Did anyone other, I don't know what this part means. Did anyone other admin approve the ETF? And he's talking about the Binance thing. Well, Scott, I've got your answer. Here's your answer. Caitlin Long had tweeted this out. The truth revealed Elizabeth Warren orchestration of Operation Choke Point 2.0 through her control over Biden administration's financial services appointees is really about rolling out a U.S. CBDC. This has been an open secret in D.C. since January, but it's not a secret anymore. Hill to die on. This is Elizabeth Warren. This is what they really want. It's not that they're anti-crypto. They're anti the crypto that they don't control.
Not that banks do wrong. If you think we could improve that in a digital world, the answer is sure you could. But in that case, let's do a central bank digital currency.
Are you there?
Oh, for a central bank digital.
Make no mistake, people like her would use that for the evil purposes, folks. We talk about how CBDC could be used for good or evil. These are the type people that would use it to control. They would use it to win elections. They would use it for any kind of way that they could that would take your liberty.
Currency, yes. I think it's time for us to
So
move
essentially, because the thing is, when you look at every piece of paper currency we issue, not with coins, but every paper currency has its own identity. Mm-hmm. So essentially, we're prepared for the blockchain now with currency. Should that be how we build this?
So I think of it as, again, what's the problem you're trying to solve? And if the problem you're trying to solve...
The problem we're trying to solve is for people like you not to control our lives, woman. That's what we're trying to solve.
Is fast, almost frictionless ability to send money
like you
across the country, do it rapidly, send it around the world. Be able to send it to your cousins in Argentina. If that's what you're trying to solve, a central bank digital currency does that. And you don't really need a stable coin for that. You've already got a dollar denominated. You don't really need a Bitcoin to be able to do that. So then the question becomes, so what is it that the Bitcoin, what problem is it solving for? And now we get into a very different space.
Well, I think Bitcoin was really created by her and her friends to herd us all in here and make us think that we're a part of a libertarian movement, is what I think. Look at Stuart Alderati. The Binance resolution of anti-money laundering, etc. violations is a necessary step to bring the crypto industry into compliance with these important laws and safeguards. Big banks all went through some version of this years ago. Importantly, nowhere does the DOJ suggest that Binance committed securities law violations or even suggest that the assets traded on the platform are securities. The Treasury and CFTC joined the DOJ in the Binance deal. The SEC did not and was glaringly absent from the stage today. This sends a clear message that the agency under Gensler has not only become an outlier globally, but an outlier within its own government. The SEC, like a petulant child who can't stand being ignored, tweeted its misguided suit against Kraken at 3 p.m. today. This was yesterday. The exact time the DOJ press conference regarding Binance was scheduled to begin. Truly secondhand embarrassment at this juvenile behavior. Remember, the SEC's fabricated term crypto asset securities is nowhere to be found in the DOJ case against Binance because it has no meaning under the law. The courts have been very clear that tokens themselves are not securities. Then Kim.com had an interesting tweet here on the Binance thing. CZ plea deal conclusion. Binance is now under the control of the U.S. government. Recommendation, move your crypto out of Binance now. Keep most of your crypto offline. Only use exchanges when necessary. Start using crypto for day-to-day transaction, not just speculation. Then Wheezy comes out of nowhere with a very interesting piece of information. The new CEO of Binance, Richard Ting, was board director at Lulu Finance when Ripple partnered with Lulu. Right here, Ripple partners with Lulu, board director, Lulu Finance. Right there. Now that's a good find. Then here's Bloomberg TV. They had Brian Armstrong on, the CEO of Coinbase, to talk about the Binance.
Even with this crackdown that you're seeing, there were some really scathing allegations in the DOJ's crackdown, sanctions violations, illegal trafficking of drugs. You know, how do you know that this is it? How do you know that there are not more bad actors out there that would continue to stain crypto?
Well, I can tell you the companies that I really engage with, at least especially the ones here built in the United States, they don't get the big headlines because it's not salacious. They haven't, rocketed up because, they're not following the rules. But there are dozens of really well-intentioned and well-funded and compliant U.S.-based crypto companies that are building this industry. I mean, you have to remember that 52 million Americans have used crypto now, about 400 million people globally. And so while there are bad actors who try to use crypto, the best data we have is that that's less than 1% of the activity is for illicit purposes. By the way, the US dollar cash is about 4% illicit activity. So crypto is really not uniquely crime-ridden, and the centralized actors in crypto, they need to follow these rules around transaction monitoring, KYC, AML, just that like Coinbase has been doing for over a decade now to make sure bad actors don't take advantage of these systems.
Listen.
Okay, that's enough of that. Kind of boring. Now, Hester Pierce, I've seen her on a couple of videos in the last couple of days. Listen to this one.
The commission is really the busiest that it's been in my memory. We're working on many rules, most of which have nothing to do with crypto. And we also have a very busy enforcement calendar. And so I think that given all of the priorities that we have, I think that means that crypto doesn't necessarily get a slot on the rulemaking agenda as we've seen. And where it does, frankly, it doesn't look great. Some of the initial steps that we've taken with respect to regulating crypto have said either you have to centralize, you have to get out of the US, or you have to shut down. Those are not great options, and they totally undermine the whole point of crypto, which is to facilitate decentralization, which then can make for a more robust financial system, and other parts of the economy as well can be decentralized. And that's the strength and the transparency that comes with not relying on centralized entities, and the equal terms of access that apply to everyone. These are really valuable things. And if you force centralization, there are some points where there will be centralization, of course, but just forcing that is not, it's missing out on the point.
Oh, more talk out of Hester Pierce. Then Thinking Crypto, Tony over there, he had Tom Emmer on his show. Listen to this. Good clip.
So, Congressman Emmer, the checks and balances seem to be working a bit where the courts, the judicial branch, has been handing the SEC losses here, highlighting their overreach, their hypocrisy, and lack of allegiance to the law, losses to Grayscale. And with Ripple, what are your thoughts on those court rulings?
Well, those are the two key cases that I would say they were big losses last summer that the SEC and Gary Gensler experienced. Ripple, as you know, the Southern District of New York declared that XRP is not in and of itself a security. And Grayscale, the DC Court of Appeals sided with Grayscale on the SEC's regulatory and intellectual hypocrisy in approving Bitcoin futures ETFs, but not Bitcoin spot ETFs, which the two are related. So why you would approve one and not the other is just intellectually inconsistent. These wins, as you correctly point out, are wins for the industry. And they highlight that the rules of the road are not clear for the industry, despite Gary Gensler's best efforts to pretend like they are. I guess the bottom line on that one is the SEC is an incompetent cop on the beat, which I've said over and over. And the crypto community's refusal to lay down and die is proving Gensler's incompetency in the courts. And that's a good thing.
You got that right. Now, I'm going into the private group at DAIXRP.com. Now, today, we, in partnership with Brad Combs, we announced an adventure. It's really interesting adventure in the groups, okay? And it's going to be, I'm not going to say much about what it is, but we announced that the group is going to go on a little adventure. It's going to be interactive. We're going to actually have members in the group. They're going to be involved. It's going to be really interesting. Just a random idea that I had come up with. It's going to be fun. So that starts today, DAIXRP.com. If you want to be a potential pick to be involved in what we're doing, you're going to want to go ahead and join today, because I'm going to be making the pick of who we're going to work with in the next couple of days here. So I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that we are beginning a very interesting adventure in the DAIXRP group. Thanks for listening.